It starts. All right, we are live really quick from the Wisconsin Sports Heroics and Wisco Fanatics pages, as well as the Wisco Fanatics YouTube. Jake and I just wanted to hop on and talk really quick, just for 10 or 20 minutes, and talk about Game 1 of the Bucks series. I guess we're just going to do this really quick because our regular episode this week is going to be on Friday instead of Wednesday. So we wanted to kind of get some of our thoughts out there for Game 1. And then hopefully on Tuesday, we're going to do this same thing. We're just going to do 10, 20 minutes. That way we have, some of our thoughts out there before next Friday when 1, 2, and 3 games will be played. So let's talk just about Game 1. Jake, what did you see from that Game 1 that stood out to you as why the Bucks weren't able to get the win?
First of all, welcome. Hope everybody's having a great day. It's beautiful outside, so get outside, enjoy that sunshine. On a positive note, this isn't about the Bucks, but the Brewers back in first place. Maybe have a one-game lead after today. Yeah, Tyler's rocking the crew today. What I saw last night was the Nets just having better shooting than the Bucks. That's point blank what really just happened. They made their shots. We didn't make our shots. When we were winning the first quarter and James Harden was out, I thought, I knew that meant more touches for Durant, more touches for Irving, and those guys are big shot takers and makers. So right there, I was like, yeah, it's going to be a lot of Durant, a lot of Irving. I did not expect Blake Griffin to do what he did. He really, his hustle really ignited that team. He got a lot of extra possessions for them. He had right here. I'm looking. He had 4 threes. He was 4 of 9. And when he made his first one, I was just kind of like, all right, I'm okay with him making one because he's not that great of a shooter. He's not going to make that
30-some%.
Yeah, it's exactly like when Giannis shoots and makes it. Teams are kind of like, oh, okay, I want him. And he goes 4 for 9, and you're like, it is what it is,
Yep.
Also, Joe Harris. It seemed like every time that they rotated the ball well, he ended up wide open. I'm like, why is that the guy being wide open? But it's what it is, man. It was a tough shooting night for all of the Milwaukee Bucks. Bryn Forbes was off. Giannis, shot okay. But he takes a lot of twos. I thought Brook Lopez had a really good game, and we should have. Me and you were texting during the game. We should have kept feeding Brook. Brook was killing down there. They were switching on screens. He consistently ended up with a guard or a small forward on him down low, and he's just bigger than them. He could bully them, and I thought we should have kept throwing it down to Brook. What do you think, buddy?
So to answer your point about Brook Lopez, I know we both talked about it. When Durant picked up his 4th foul with 2 minutes left in the third quarter, this to me was a Budenholzer issue that they didn't immediately go to Brook Lopez, who was being guarded by Kevin Durant, and try to get him his 5th foul before the third quarter ended, because Steve Nash should have pulled him out, but Kevin Durant said, hey, leave me in. They should have immediately gone at him to get him his 5th foul, because then he's got to play the whole fourth quarter, on his tiptoes. And the fact they didn't do that, to me, was a coaching issue. As far as shooting goes, Middleton struggled. Forbes struggled. Holiday didn't shoot very well. Connaughton made 1 shot, I think, and it was in the last minute of the game. But I know I've seen you and I have both been in the groups and talking to people about yesterday, and now that some of the anger has subsided a little bit from people reacting to it. This loss isn't just on any one player or coach or situation, because I know there was a lot of blame heaped on Chris Middleton's shoulders because he shot the worst out of the starters, and he is a shooter. So when he shoots bad, it looks bad. And I get that. But the same goes for Bryn Forbes. When he's not shooting well, what's he doing on the floor? I get that he's more active than, say, a Kyle Korver was, as far as, effort and rebounding go. But to me, the other 2 big areas that stood out as to why the Bucks weren't able to win, because it only ended up being an 8-point game. And I know I texted you that holding the Brooklyn Nets to 115 is a win, because against their defense that is subpar, the Bucks should be able to put up 120 plus easily.
Oh yeah, I told you they made 7 more 3-pointers, half. If they would have doubled their threes and still would have been 20 out of 30 or 12 out of 30, we would have blew them out of the doors.
So the other thing with that one other area is free throws. Brooklyn was 8 for 9, and the Bucks were 11 for 19. It took 10 more free throws and only made 3. So that, I mean, I'm not saying the Bucks need to shoot 100% from the free throw line, but it's really easy to go. The Bucks missed 8 free throws. You add those 8 free throws on there, and it's a tie game. Then the other thing, and I know that I've been harping on this for months, is the turnovers.
Yeah.
Brooklyn only had 8 turnovers. The Bucks had 14. That's almost twice as many turnovers as Brooklyn had. That's 6 extra possessions that we didn't get that they got. So you look at those 6 possessions. You say the Bucks score on 4 of them, and they get 8 points. That's a tie game. Say they hit 3 2-pointers and a 3-pointer. That's 9 points, and the Bucks are in the lead. I get that the game script changes with that, but just to say that one player is the reason we lost, or we need to fire Budenholzer because we lost. Keep in mind the Bucks are the underdog in this series. Nobody thinks the Bucks are going to win this series, except for and Bucks fans.
So I got a question for you.
Go ahead.
Did you see that tweet by Draymond?
Yes.
What do you think about that?
I agree with it.
Me too.
And I think they should be running the pick and roll with Giannis, but Giannis should be the pick man, and Middleton should be the ball handler, or Holiday.
It could literally be anybody's ball handler. Just Giannis as the roller, because that just puts extreme pressure on you because they're going to try to get back to Giannis. So if Giannis sets a good screen, that automatically they have to switch. And that's where I'm talking. We could just keep throwing it down the Brook because he consistently keeps getting guards on him down there because Brooklyn is tiny.
And that goes along with that is that the Nets don't have a Brook Lopez. They don't have somebody waiting down in the paint. They don't have a Rudy Gobert. They don't have a Clint Capella even, down there waiting for Giannis. It's Blake Griffin who Giannis babies, or it's going to be a guy like Jeff Green, or I saw at least one possession where Brook Lopez had Joe Harris guarding him. So exploit that. I mean, I trust Giannis to make a smart move when he's on the block because he's improved so much at that position on the floor. So for me, it wasn't any one thing. It was a combination of a lot of things between the second half offense, because we were only down by 2 going into half, the free throws, turnovers, and not trying to get Durant his 5th foul before the third quarter is over. Do you have anything else for Game 1 before we talk about what we can improve on?
Nah, just Game 1, I was so frustrated because it felt like a winnable game the entire game. Like me and you were talking, like every time that they would make a run, Brooklyn would push ahead by 8, 9, 10. Bucks would bring it right back down to 5, right back down to 5, right back down to 5. And finally, I think the week off, I don't want to use it as an excuse, but I think legs may have got a little heavy. That might be an excuse for the poor shooting.
I mean, we've talked about it a whole bunch of times that as we move into the what we can improve on, we talked about a whole bunch of times that the Packers are awful coming out of the bye week. And it's like, well, why? You had extra time to prepare. Why are you, playing so bad? Whether it's rust or, you just kind of got settled in to, not having to play for a week. Game 1 against Miami was a very similar situation. The Bucks shot horrible from 3, but the difference is in this game is that Brooklyn is a much stronger offensive team than Miami. So that's really the only difference.
Yep.
So, I mean, the recipe for the series is the same. You come out in Game 2, and we play the Game 2 against Brooklyn the same way we played Game 2 against Miami. You come out, smack them in the mouth, and make a ton of threes and take the wind out of the sails or the air out of the tires really early, and then blow them out. That would be my recipe for success. And as far as the law of averages is concerned, I expect Bryn Forbes, Chris Middleton, and Jrue Holiday to all shoot better in Game 2. What else do you want to add?
No, I expect a much better shooting performance. I expect the Bucks to make their adjustments. Budenholzer that's why I'm not calling for Budenholzer right now. He's been great in the playoffs so far. I mean, against Miami, he was absolutely masterful. So if he can come out and make his adjustments that he's going to make against Brooklyn, we'll see what he cooks up. I hope it's Still more of the same with the going down low on offense, but defense, he has some things to figure out, I think. I was a little interested, by the way. I didn't bring this up. I was a little interested to see Giannis start on Kyrie. That was interesting. That was if
I really thought
that would have been an interesting matchup.
I really thought that Middleton was going to be the one to guard Kyrie, and that they were going to put Holiday on Harden, because I think Harden is kind of their facilitator of their whole offense. And then with Holiday being left-handed and Harden being left-handed, he kind of knows the tendencies a little bit more, maybe. So I really thought that Middleton was going to be on Kyrie, that was going to be Giannis on Durant, and then Holiday on Harden. Now, without Harden, who went straight from the arena to the hospital to get an MRI, he didn't even hang around. That to me signals that he's probably not going to be playing, especially seeing as this is the same hamstring injury that he dealt with towards the end of the season that he missed like 20 games because of.
Well, he's definitely not playing game 2. If he plays again, it'll be game 3. They'll reevaluate him for game 3 because there's a lot of days in between there.
Right. So that changes a lot. So I think you will probably now see a Holiday on Irving and either Middleton or Giannis on Durant. Because Middleton, even though he didn't shoot well, I thought he actually still played some pretty decent defense on Durant when he was in that situation. I know there was at least one possession where Durant had the ball, would have been at the right wing, and Durant was trying to give him the jab step, and Middleton is right up on him, swatting the ball out of his hands. And that's the kind of frustrating thing that the guy that Chris Middleton can do, even though he's still 3 inches shorter than Durant. And I wouldn't expect him to sustain that for a long period of time, because that's not really his role. Whereas a PJ Tucker is to be a thorn in the side on defense for as long as he's in the game. I do like seeing that from Middleton. What I'd like to see from Middleton in this game 2, I want to see the attitude that he had towards Goran Dragic in games 2, 3, and 4. I want to see his attitude that he had in that towards the end of that series. I want to see that in game 2. I want to see a killer instinct from Chris Middleton, as opposed to the stoic, soft-spoken, let my word, doesn't talk a lot, but let his game do the talking. I'd like to see him, fire up a little bit. I'm not expecting him to turn into Giannis after a dunk and, flex all of his muscles and stuff, but just carry himself with a little bit of swagger. I'd like to see that from Chris Middleton.
Yeah, he's never really been that guy. He definitely is a let his game do the talking type. I think that's what Holiday is too. That's okay. They just have to shoot better. I believe they will. I said earlier that the Bucks were either going to steal game 1 or 2. I originally thought it was going to be game 1, but then after watching it, and I'm seeing it, I'm like, they had a week off. Legs are tough. Legs are heavy. I think they'll steal game 2, and then I don't think we're losing at the Forum. I think they're going to protect home court, and then I'm still going with my series prediction of we'll win game 2, we'll win game 3 and 4, and that's we'll win game 5. We'll finish them off in 6, and everybody keeps calling me crazy, but hey, man, I know just as much as you, we don't know what's going to happen in these games, who's going to get hurt, who's going to hit 20. Hey, Bucks hit a record 29 3-pointers in a game this week, They mentioned that, during the game yesterday, it was crazy that they were shooting as bad as they were. Bucks can get hot. They have multiple shooters, so we'll see what happens. We'll see if we just keep beating them up down low and force some turnovers, run outs, get some 3-pointers, and we'll just keep going from there. They got to compete on defense, man. They just got to compete on defense. They're not going to be able to stop that time because Kyrie's masterful. He can pull up that little mid-range or 3. He's one of the best point guards in the paint they're finishing, and Durant's going to get his shot. I swear to God, I was calling every time. He does not like going left and pulling the jumper. When he goes right, he pulls that midi.
He pulls the mid-range up.
When he goes left, he tries to set himself up, but I think he's more comfortable going to the rim when he's forced left. When he goes right, he forces the midi, and he was making it yesterday. It is what it is. He's 7 feet tall, he's a sniper. So he's got to keep competing, keep Blake off the boards, make shots. That's how you win this game.
Yeah, and I know I've mentioned it before that Joe Harris is the guy you have to keep an eye on. You can let Claxton shoot, let him shoot. I would even say let Blake Griffin shoot, because I would say that this game 1 was an outlier for him. Joe Harris, that's the guy you don't let shoot. That's the guy you stick Pat Connaughton in, and you say, hey, Joe Harris is your guy, don't leave him alone. So that's Joe Harris, that's the guy you got to contain. I don't really think that Blake Griffin is a scorer. He's really not. The 3-point thing that he's done was really when he went to Detroit and he didn't want to play physical anymore. So I'm fine with letting Blake Griffin shoot just as fine as I was, letting Duncan Robinson and Dwayne Dedmon try to beat us as opposed to Jimmy Butler and Bam Adebayo try to beat us. So that being said, I still think it's going to be a 7-game series, especially after what I saw last night. It's going to be a lot of back and forth, fast pace. It's just going to come down to who makes more shots. I mean, it sounds dumb to say that, but that's what it's going to come down to. But the Bucks have to be more efficient is what I'm looking for. Actually, I just got a notification right now. Harden ruled out for Game 2.
Yeah, I didn't think he wasn't going to play this game. They'll definitely reevaluate him. He might play Game 3, but I think they're going to be careful because, after winning last night's game, I think if, even if they lose this game and it's a close game, I think they might hold him out because then there's another 2-day layoff before Game 4. We might see him in that game, especially if they lose that game. They might try to rush him back for a Game 4. So, right. But they're going to be careful. Like the Warriors, with Durant and Clay back in 2019, they rushed him back.
Played up and back was against the wall.
Clay's still suffering from that because he came back and I don't know. We'll have to see. I think the Bucks are going to win. You want to give a score prediction? Let's just take a shot in the dark. See what we got.
I'm going to say 122-118.
All right. 122-118, you say? I'll say 120-112. Bucks will win. 120-112. I think the Nets will shoot a little bit worse and won't get as many open looks on this. I have a lot of faith in the Bucks playing defense and Bud making some adjustments. So, all right. We'll go from there.
Let's talk again on Tuesday and talk about Game 2 and talk a little bit before Game 3. And then we will see you Friday for our regular weekly Wisco Fanatics episode. Thanks for checking us out today.
Yes, sir. All right, man. Take care. Go Brewers.
Yeah.
Later.